I have always wanted to learn the Nordschleifer, and outside of Gran Turismo, I've barely touched it in my entire life, and certainly wouldn't know my way around it. It's always been something that I've wanted to do, to at least get around in a half decent time. I have just over 2 months until the Nürburgring 24-hour race. We're being evicted. I need to half learn it here, half learn it in the new house. Yeah, all that learning at the old place didn't happen, so I set up the rig in the new place and tried to get working on new laps, but I didn't have internet for 2 weeks either, which made further setbacks. Your drivers today are Miko, Pavel, Callum, Tim and me. My teammates are all Academy drivers, people who've joined the SRG Discord, link in the comments, and are driving for a place in the main roster. No one on our team has participated in an N24 before, and most of these guys have never even run a special event enduro, so this was going to be a big challenge for everyone. Nords 24 is arguably one of, if not the toughest, due to the huge, difficult and almost pitch black at nighttime circuit. It's brutal, and given we had all set a collective but quite optimistic goal of a top 10 finish in our first N24, we had a real task on our hands. Usually these races have a load of different car classes making things really tough, but given our low collective iRacing rank, it was mostly GT3 and some GT4 chucked in there. The race was delayed by 30 minutes, which certainly didn't help all the nerves, but everyone was finally let in. And though Andrew didn't drive, he was in the Discord call with us for a big chunk of this race, helping coach the team and generally being around for the good mood. This guy is an absolute legend, and I really think the other guys appreciated having him around as well. Tim the Dutchman wanted to qualify and start, so we gave him just that. He put us in the top half of the grid, which is always handy with the amount of carnage that he's usually dished out around here on the opening lap. But Tim, to his credit, put in a really good shift to get the race underway with some smooth and very quick driving.
We're not comparing, you know, whose balls are bigger.
Oh, we're not comparing, because if we would, I would be winning. Ooh.
A little sympathy if you had 3.
Just focus on the race.
Yeah, okay. If I finish this race right now, then I hit 2.1k.
Okay, let's wrap it up then.
I can finish it now if you want.
He was able to get us settled in, he calmed down a bit and put the team in a really good position. There were some close calls and an incident where he got turned in T2, but other than that there was no damage, no major setbacks. He started us off really well.
Pavel, you ready?
Yeah.
Again, no reason to overtake.
That's fucking reassuring. Yeah, man, whatever. If I have to.
Box.
Yes.
Next up was Pavel, a Poland native living in sunny England. Now, he was understandably quite nervous, this being his first endurance race, and he dived straight in with the Nürburgring, which is crazy. But you know what? He had no reason to be nervous whatsoever.
This guy's he's as smooth as his voice is. He's nice to watch.
He's good.
A flawless first ever endurance race stint from the man here. Big props, I had already put damage on my car in my first endurance event by now, and Pavel kept it classy, and it started to become apparent to us that he had a real knack for focus and detail. Miko the Finn did our third stint. He actually joined the team last minute as a 5th driver because he was going to run the M2, but his teammates bailed within a week to go over the race, so he got in the M4 GT3 for the first time, started working.
I don't know, but I feel really flat in this car right now. What the hell? Like, really down to the ground. Maybe the suspension is lower because of the feel.
Another guy with a reason to be nervous, but honestly, it turned out we had our very own Iceman. And Miko did a phenomenal job, not taking a single incident in his first run in the race. And at this point, we were right up to P13. And our 4th fighter in this challenge, Callum, residing in sunny Cornwall just like me. The guy loved the ring, so he was probably the best set up for this race out of all of us. And he actually taught a couple of us some of the tricks to braking markers and lifting points when we were in practice.
Uh-oh. I definitely didn't just shit myself.
Oh.
That's not the place you want to catch a car, is it? We lost 2 seconds. I'd rather lose 2 seconds than have what would have been a massive crash.
I love the attitude of this team.
Why do I want to hear about it?
My God. Well, look. they'll be around for a long time. Maybe one or two of them won't be, but
Oh no, I'm sticking around. Can't get rid of me now.
that's what we've been lacking, the teammates that are committed to practice and showing up. And
As the sun was dazzling on the circuit, going into the sunset hours, he needed all that skill and knowledge of the circuit that he could get. But the guy was fast, and we were hanging around just outside of that top 10, our desired finishing position at this point. But there was a lot of time left in the race, so let's just not start counting our chickens just yet. Oh, and there was a little incident in the pit lane, but nothing major, thankfully.
What the?
Pavel then got back in the car and was driving during the sunset hours.
So what position are we now, actually?
I don't know. My
11th.
thing's completely wrong.
yeah, you'll
Trying to
filter
figure
out
that out.
probably after pit stops at P11. Maybe 10.
It looked beautiful on circuit, and he actually looked great too. Once again putting in smooth, consistent, focused driving, and not looking a touch out of place in an SRG team. He was really proving his worth. I then headed off for the evening. The guys put in a stellar job here. I was gone for about 6 hours, barely slept, but I got loads of rest. And I gather there were some fun moments at this time, proven by some of the clips that the boys were able to get.
All night long, all night, all night, all night long, all night.
I will tell you this one time to shut the fuck up right now.
These are the times you tend to get the most out of an event, you know, when the team is really building and there's camaraderie around the place. The best times, if we're honest.
Can somebody send a message to that guy and say thank you?
I mean, you basically pushed him up.
You did slightly push him off.
No, he made some room. He didn't take the cuddle.
Yeah, he pushed himself off, but
Yeah. I didn't make any contact with him.
And though I'm not sure on the specific details of the interim here, I can gather from the footage and the fact that we're up to P6 that the guys just weren't hanging around and carried the team in the late hours. I got up to watch Pavel finish his stint. Andrew then headed off for a while.
Talk to you guys later. Good luck rest of the way.
This was around 1 in the morning UK time, and I was introduced to a very interesting concept.
Yeah, remember, 12 hours still to go.
I know. It's right now. I feel like cockroach mentality, you know. Well,
Oh, yeah.
we are gonna vote to rename our team Team Cockroach because we don't outpace our rivals. We just outlast them. Like cockroaches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, when they are crashing, we're just going in between like a little cockroaches.
I really liked that. Pavel had cemented himself as part of the deep SRG lore with that one, and to be honest, his theory or strategy is actually a very valid one, especially around here. Miko was up next, and I started to realise that for the first time ever, I think, I've been part of a race where we've been on the same lap as the leader halfway through the race, and as you'd expect, Miko carried on Pavel's focused and determined form to keep us in it.
Yeah. Cockroach mentality. Pavel just dropped that truth bomb like 4 hours ago.
Which was then very quickly ruined by a technical issue that I had, where for the life of me I just could not get my wheelbase to give me any sort of force feedback. Thankfully I found this out before leaving the pit lane, but obviously after leaving the pit box. So I had to tow the car, completely shut the computer off and restart my PC for it to work, resulting in 11.5 minutes of tow time, and this wound me up quite a lot to be honest, but I guess it is what it is. But at this point we were then in the bottom half of the rankings once again.
You've actually gained 15 seconds of P3 in like a lap. It was 30 seconds off.
I drove my first stint in no man's land, which basically meant no one around me. It suited me down to the ground because I could just focus on the circuit and not focus on other cars around me. And my whole focus was basically putting as few incidents on that total as possible, so that we didn't have to brake and serve the penalty. And at the end of the first lap of my stint, you know what I did? I lost focus and I tapped the wall. I got a 1x and that was quite annoying.
we are gonna be doing some rain lapping. Yeah, don't worry. Just a small kiss to the barriers. Probably no damage. Don't forget to box this lap.
Miko actually had to wake Tim up via a phone call just in time for his stint. He put in some of the fastest laps on the circuit, I'm not gonna lie. It seemed that he adapted very quickly after waking up. But he also caught himself a little bit with some off tracks, and I tried to calm him down a bit, and to his credit, he was blistering. He took us right back up the order, minimising the deficit that I had provided us. And I got back in for my second stint, and again, I was just trying to play it safe. I didn't push, I just kept it on the track, driving quickly by my standards, but definitely not quickly by everyone else's.
Okay, now it might be better to just let them go on the straight. Just let them figure out who. Oh,
You're in the middle, 3 wide. Still clear left. Clear all around.
no! This is gonna be interesting. Oh, yep, there we have it.
I wasn't overdoing it, I was pondering life, I was feeling woozy, and generally just enjoying my time in the session. I've come to really enjoy this track, and I was just sort of taking in the experience. And at this point, the weather started to change. Tim got back in the car in dry tyres for a couple of laps. He was planning on sort of coming in to change the tyres to wets, but unfortunately, I don't know why, but iRacing gave him dries again, which meant he had to do a lap of cold, slick tyres on a wet circuit, which was far from ideal. But he did nurse it around, he came in again, he took the wet tyres, and he went back out. And honestly, this is one of the best performances I've ever seen.
A tiny bit of right.
Oh, I save it.
Oh my god.
Oh my fucking god.
Right, where's Tokyo Drift? Let's get the the noise out. Ding ding.
Oh. I save it. Oh my fucking god.
It was just insane. There were some sketchy moments, but his car control was so good to be able to minimise any kind of issues there, and in very difficult conditions, especially given his lack of sleep, he put in an incredible performance, and for some reason my iRacing crashed, so I had to restart my PC again. So you've probably noticed by now that I've only done 2 stints in the rig, and that comes down to a couple of factors. Mostly the schedule having been moved because of the delay, the fact that I was really sleepy, and to be honest, I hate driving in the rain, and that's what was coming up next. Not only did I have 100% faith in these guys, but they were absolutely killing it, so I just let them crack on. Now, pretty much everyone was back in the Discord. Callum went out on the wet tyres, the track was still wet, but there was no rain, and it would take a very long time for the surface to actually dry out. He put in some really impressive driving because the conditions were changing and there wasn't exactly an optimal tyre option. It was very awkward. And once he did switch to those slick tyres, it was pretty tricky at the start where he just couldn't get purchase on the surface. But this change in tyre actually did pay off throughout the stint, and as it went on, as the dry line started to appear, he wouldn't have to worry so much about overheating the wet tyres.
Oh my god!
What was
my
that?
god!
Oh, Jesus.
Holy shit!
And he was settling into it, he was gaining confidence. He was one of, if not the fastest drivers on the circuit, so I think with more endurance race experience, he's going to be a very, very quick driver. By the way, we did get that 100x drive-through penalty, but to be totally honest, it seemed like pretty much all the teams had at this stage in the race. We also had quite a bit of damage, and a drop in straight line speed due to some aero problems, yet Callum was putting up times competing with fully clean cars, and when I saw that there was a top 5 on the cards, I fully ruled myself out of driving. These guys were far more likely to get the job done than I was.
I don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit weak.
Come on! I just don't want to be stuck behind him again because we are losing time, but I just don't want to risk hitting into him.
Like, do you know those stories?
Is he still on my left? Is he still on my right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't-
he's
Yeah, on your right.
He's not gonna back out. He will not back out. He will not.
Oh, too good.
I was as far to the left as I could be then.
Yeah, he turned into you, but you're
I
both
was
still alive.
actually... that was a
Oh.
legit scream. I was actually scared there.
Oh, this is a perfectly placed GT4
Alright.
for slipstream. Yes, GT4. I love you.
This is one of the nice GT4s actually. He
Thank
made
you.
very good room.
So Pavel then went out on a now totally dry circuit and proved it. We put the man with maximum focus on the track, and he was using his cockroach mentality, keeping it smooth, insanely consistent and very clean.
Oh my god.
The fuck did he?
Just leave
Yeah,
him.
let him go.
Let him go.
What a fucking moron, honestly.
Yeah, he's been like that all race.
Is my back fine?
Nope.
Minor
Damn.
damage. Don't worry about it. Feel the car a bit.
Teams in front had massive incidents, and P1 and P2 were sort of going at each other like crazy. It was all kicking off, and there was a lot of drama towards the final hour or two of the N24. We had no idea what was going on around us, but we had miraculously found ourselves in P3, in for a podium position. Pavel had been setting laps that were within a few tenths of each other every single time. This man is Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, good overtake.
Nice. Nicely done, mate.
Lovely place to catch him.
Yeah, I don't want to say shut up to the boys anymore. So
I will tell you this one time to shut the fuck up right now.
And for the final stint and a bit, we put the pace man out there. Tim was absolutely flying. He was keeping a healthy 1 to 2 minute distance to the car behind and making sure that there was no potential for failure. Sure, P1 and P2 were in their own race, they were far up the field, but Tim made it his job to maintain the gap behind.
okay, Tim. Last hour started now.
Okay.
1 more hour, guys.
1 more hour.
Since like 1.5 months ago, I bought the Nordschleife to practice for the 24 hours. And since then, my entire sim racing just revolved around the Nürburgring and practicing it. And I absolutely started to love the Nürburgring. Once this is all over, I don't get to drive the Nürburgring for a long while again.
For me, it was like last 3 months is just Nürburgring.
Yeah, for me too. But
It's such a good. It's just so much fun.
He came in for fuel and tyres, went back out to finish the race. It turned out we had underfueled him slightly, so he had to come back in again to grab one more half a lap of fuel, but that was fine because there was such a huge gap that he did it with ease. There was no dramas. It was just a matter of bringing it home. Andrew was back in the Discord to see the team finish.
Did we actually turn the traction control down from when it rained? I forgot to do it.
yeah, I do it. I did it.
Okay.
Good job, mate.
Okay, boys.
Good job.
That's it.
Good job.
That's it.
P3.
It's not only your first Nürburgring, that is a podium at your first Nürburgring. That is unbelievable.
Unreal. Great job, everyone.
Congrats, boys.
That's a good feeling.
You could do some work on your donuts. But fucking great. You don't need to do any work on your driving.
If you had told me before this race that a group of newbies would be taking home a podium finish at probably the hardest race on the calendar, I'd have laughed you out of the room. But here's the thing, after actually running the race, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that these guys did it, because there's a real group of drivers here, and as a result, they all got their well-earned promotion to the SRG main team. Callum was fast and brave with it, and a bright personality in the dark hours of the race. Pavel is a master of focus, detail and consistency with a godly voice and a knack for spotting out danger. Miko is our Iceman with a calm and present mindset, the glue that kept us all together. And Tim, well, I'm not sure I'll ever see a wet weather performance like that again. This guy was elite. And Andrew, our 6th driver, because sure he didn't race, but we loved having him there. He was coaching us, managing nerves and the energy, and I hope next year he does participate in the rig. I'm really proud of these guys. Look, the cockroach mentality prevailed, and what a race this was. Here are the results of all SRG teams that competed in this year's N24. Not a bad suite of finishes if you ask me. You guys all did SRG proud, and we're looking forward to next year's event. If you want to get involved, check out the Discord link in the description and the comments. We'd love to have you on board, and a big thanks to my wonderful teammates for securing my first podium in an endurance event, even if I only ran 2 stints.